So this is a socket 3 motherboard that I bought as a challenge to revive. It was completely non-functional. It was also missing the BIOS EEPROM, obviously salvaged for other purposes. This was fitted from the factory with a lithium cell battery that didn't leak, so it was not a battery leakage issue. Long story short, the keyboard socket solder joints were cracked on the underside, only noticeable under the microscope. I noticed there was funny behavior with the keyboard in that it was not resetting with the system. The keyboard controller was also blown, so I've just put in a donor from one of my many dead Micronics boards that have been devastated by battery damage. So the keyboard became operational. And the funny thing with these particular ATC-1762 boards, I've noticed, it absolutely cannot handle not having the battery connected. If that is floating or at 0 volts, this thing is ridiculously unstable. You need to have a battery connected, and you need to save the defaults immediately, even if they're just nonsense. Just save the defaults, otherwise the thing will just keep resetting on its own. Once you've saved the defaults, then it was possible to go in and configure it after a reboot. Utterly ridiculous. I've never seen that before. It could still be a fault with this board, but it hasn't done that since I have saved the defaults and then configured it. It has stopped doing the constant rebooting at the memory check. The other thing, I think the ZIF socket might be screwed because it is extremely fussy with what CPUs I use in there. Truth be told, this board appears to have been rained on. There were also rusty cache chips and corrosion evident in the sockets. I have replaced all of those and the cache is working fine. But yeah, there could actually be oxidization in the ZIF socket, which I'm never going to be able to fix. I have flooded it with deoxit and that doesn't seem to have helped. And the memory sockets were also equally atrocious, but they've come up okay with toothbrush and deoxit. VESA slots, well, that first one there, I can't get that working at all. I suspect that's oxidized. This one here started working after multiple reinsertions of the VLB card. So yeah, this board is not one that I'm going to use for any kind of daily use. It's just a challenge for me to revive it because, as mentioned, it was completely dead and now it's fully operational. So this is the keyboard currently connected to this machine, and we'll just, for amusement factor, run the Doom bench test. This is only a DX266 in here, so it is not a rocket ship. It does not work at all with my 33 MHz CPU. It either does not boot, doesn't even post, I should say, or yeah, it just gets stuck in an endless loop of rebooting. But having said that, I haven't got it to work at all since I've saved some settings in CMOS. So I don't know. And this board is very poorly documented. In fact, it's not documented at all. So I don't even know if I've got the jumpers set correctly. I've only set them with what you can see on the board. It has various legends on there for configuring it for what CPUs, etc. And I've done my best, and I'm not 100% sure it's correct. So that could be an issue as well. But this is an Intel Overdrive 66, so if that works in here, the DX33 should work as well. I don't know why it doesn't. And I noticed it has locked up when I did get that 33 actually working in there, to the point of getting the machine to do the memory count. It locked up if I tapped the CPU, so I'm pretty sure that ZIF socket is screwed. So if I can be bothered, I might replace it. But yeah, this is not a great board, and it's not really worth the effort, but it was good fun anyway to get this working. Yeah, and the ISA slots also require deoxit as well, and multiple removal and reinsertion for them to work as well. It's just a very bad idea to allow your motherboards to get rained on. In any case, this one lives another day. So this is what the board actually looks like without any cards installed. And a word of advice, if you are playing with one of these ATC-1762 motherboards, they will not even post or do beep codes if there's no memory in there. So don't get confused thinking the board is completely dead just because you didn't put memory in it. And that is the first slot there. You must put memory in that slot there. Otherwise, yeah, it will not even do beep codes if you put the memory in there. It is really, quite honestly, a piece of crap, this motherboard. It was obviously very entry-level, basic stuff when it was new. I can't test those slots because I don't actually have any memory available. Last time I tried to put 4 meg sims in there, it did nothing at all. So there could be an issue there as well. But who cares? It works with the 72 pin sim, and a 16 meg one works in there as well. And I've actually had it running with 2 16s, so 32 megs of memory. Whoever really needs more than that in a 486?